Hello and welcome back to the Planet Protectors live stream. Tonight we continue to talk about urban wildlife. This is part 2 of a 2-part series. Before that, we need our weekly riddle, so let's hear it. What has more use when it is broken? The answer will be revealed at the end of the show, and that is when you can submit your answers. But for now, let's go on to our urban wildlife topic. As we have learned over the past episode, wildlife is all around us and we don't always notice it, or we just see some animals and we don't appreciate them like to what we could. For an example, pigeons. If you live in a major city, then you might be seeing these guys. They are always around and some people even see them as pests. Wildlife is all around us, and tonight I'll continue to talk about some of the most common urban wildlife that you can find in cities or suburban areas. Last week I talked about raccoons, red foxes, and pigeons, and you can find that episode on our YouTube channel, Planet Protectors Live. But for now, I'm going to talk to you about 4 new animals. So let's get right into it. Our first animal is one that almost everyone suggested. Almost everyone. This animal is small, can come in various colors, and is found playing in trees. Give it up for the squirrel! With 22 different species in Canada and over 200 species in the world, they are really a magnificent animal. The most common species being gray, red, flying, and black squirrels. Squirrels are actually really important to forest development. Some people actually call them tree farmers. They plant acorns that that they eat, and then it can eventually grow a tree. So, for example, if I were to use this EcoPot card with the EcoPot, this is the acorn they put in the ground. If they do not collect it in the winter and eat it, then it stays in the ground and it will grow into a tree. Where were we? So the acorns grow in trees. On the other side of things, did you know that squirrels' front teeth never stop growing? In fact, squirrels' 4 front incisors grow 15 centimeters a year, but they're not super long because of all the biting that the squirrels do. Squirrels live in attics, garages, dens, trees, and sheds like raccoons. They eat nuts, seeds, and more. And there's also a great YouTube video that I highly suggest you watch by someone named Mark Rober. He's a YouTuber, and he creates an obstacle course for these squirrels. And it's a really good video, and it teaches you about these squirrels too. So I recommend that. It's on YouTube. It's by someone named Mark Rober. All right, our next animal is one that you would not want to come face to face with. This next animal is the skunk. Skunks. They do get a bad rep. But before I talk to you more about these animals, we need to address something. The spray. Don't think of skunks as evil because of their spray. They only do it when they feel threatened. Skunk spray is really just organic compounds, and the compounds release an acid scent that smells like rotten eggs. And basically, here is what they do to warn you. Here, I'm going to grab this. So this is not a skunk, this is an otter, but basically this is your warning. So they're gonna go around, Oh, I feel threatened by you. So I'm gonna dance around, Oh, really, still? All right, well, I'm gonna get on my front feet, lift my tail up, and spray me in the face. So basically, you just need to know that the dance that they do is a warning that they're gonna spray. And on their hind feet, that is the spray. And really, you do not want to be very close to these guys because they can also spray up to 3.5 meters far, or 10 feet. And the odor can be smelt from almost 2.5 kilometers away. One last fact about the spray is that it is flammable. Skunks are known to eat honeybees, wasps, and venomous snakes, including rattlesnakes. I don't know who these guys think they are, but clearly they can conquer some seriously vicious species. Skunks are also nocturnal, so they usually sleep in the day and are awake at night. But from my experience, they are not always like that. But I have seen skunks digging for grubs, which is another thing they eat at night. All right, the third animal of tonight was recommended by a lot of you listeners, so thank you. This animal is tough, lives alone or in pairs, unlike its pack relatives. It's the coyote. Woo! Coyotes are solitary animals they live in pairs of mates. And they eat mice, voles, insects, and lizards, and sometimes garbage too. These omnivores have a lifespan of 14 years old in the wild. Have you ever seen these animals run? Unlike most dogs, including wild and domestic dogs, they all run with their tail up, whereas coyotes run with their tail down. That's a bit more of a random fact, but pay attention to your dog next time. See how they run. Here's another wacky fact. Coyotes can jump the distance of up to 4 meters. Wow, they'd be really good in the Olympics with standing long jump. In North America, coyotes are also known as the most vocal animals. So they, make the most noise with their mouths. So you might be wondering where they sleep, and the answer to that question is in dens, and they can be in rocky areas and or places with less people. So if you live in a big city like Toronto, then they would be more in the suburbs and more in the Don Valley. All right, this next animal is the last animal of the night. All right, so what do you think? Oh, right. The last animal is a bird, and let's just say it's the fastest animal on the planet. Tonight's animal is the peregrine falcon, but we need a disclaimer. They are the fastest animals on the planet, the fastest ones. So if you thought cheetah, nope, very wrong. Not cheetah. Cheetahs are not the fastest animal on the planet. They're the fastest land animal for sure, fastest land, but definitely not on the planet. That is the peregrine falcon. And they can reach speeds of up to 390 kilometers an hour, so almost 400 kilometers an hour. That should be 4 times the speed that you go on the highway. And that is 50 kilometers faster than a NASCAR. If you're going 100 kilometers an hour on the highway, it's 4 times your speed. These animals were on the brink of extinction at one point, but now because of people's help, they're now thriving and at least concern on the red list, which is the furthest away from endangered. These falcons are also carnivores and have a stable population trend. They mainly feast on other birds and sometimes snakes and pine martens. Okay. Now on to a brand new Did You Know? It's going to be a good Did You Know. Tonight's Did You Know is really one that you might have known, but not really known at the same time. When I was writing this episode and I came across this fact, I had to look into it. So let's see it. This week's Did You Know is... Did you know that butterflies taste with their hind legs? So not with their mouths because they don't have any, but with their hind legs. They have taste sensors on their feet, and they also, like as I said before, they don't have mouths. So they're able to just stand around a flower and taste it. If the flower tastes good, the butterfly might choose to lay its eggs on the leaf or flower. All right, that was a shorter did you know, but still a good one. Now let's go on to one of our 2021 new segments. It's EcoPot. All right, let me just put the cards back in the pot because of my demonstration. All right, let's see. The first EcoPot is, and remember these were shuffled beforehand. Line your garbage cans with newspaper instead of using plastic liners. This one, yeah, I guess that works. It's smart. So you're not using plastic bags. I don't know what a huge difference that would be for the garbage, but if you are like me and my family, we use grocery bags I get from the grocery store, the plastic ones, if we forget our reusable bags, and use that for the garbage. But we also buy other bags. So I guess the newspaper is a good idea. And that definitely works for recycling too. If you have something like a little not as papery, that definitely works. So that was a great first EcoPot. All right, second EcoPot is... all right, let's do this one. Switch off your lights and make use of natural lighting. Yes, this one is super important. I have lights on now because it's dark outside, but natural lighting, especially in the day, like it's really nice too. It's nice lighting. So yeah, try to use natural lighting and not as much lighting. Not as much as artificial lighting. All right, let's go to our next EcoPot. All right. Buy less, but buy better. Whether it's a t-shirt or a kettle, invest in items that will last longer instead of buying something cheap that will fall apart quickly and become landfill be in a landfill in a couple of months. This one's good, especially, I would say t-shirts, especially if you're older and you're not growing anymore. That one's good. When you're growing, that's understandable. But even when you are not using when you are done with a shirt, you've outgrown it, donate it or give it to someone who needs it in your family or friends. Yeah. So definitely do that. Let's go to our next EcoPot. All right, this is our last one of the night. Stick to a 5-minute shower each day to save water. Yes, this one is super important. Yes, just do this. All right, so this week's episode is special because it's the 25th episode anniversary for Planet Protectors. So this is backwards for you, but it normally says live. And this is made from wood and it has nails and string. So 25 episodes including season 1 and 2. We've had episodes from not having to go vegan to live sustainably, to urban wildlife, to plastic recycling, to regrowing green onions. We've had so many different episodes. And 25 really is a big part in that episode journey. And it has been hard to find different topics, just so you know. And you can suggest topics on the Planet Protectors website, planetprotectorschallenges.weebly.com, and the link is in our bio. You can just type in, oh, I want this as a topic, and it might and will probably get chosen. All right, so that was a great episode 25 from the urban wildlife to some very cool did you knows. But you need an answer to the riddle. So let's see what the different answers are. Let's hear it one more time. What has to be broken before it is used? Please submit your answers now, and I will reveal the answer after a few more people have submitted. The answer is, drumroll please, another egg. An egg, you got me. It's an egg. Have a great rest of your evening, and remember to check out the Planet Protectors podcast, streaming on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcast, and iHeartRadio. You can find a bunch of episodes from season 2 on it, no season 1s. But have a great rest of your evening, and remember to stay eco. And I will see you next week for a very special episode again. Not because of it's like a 26th episode, but it's a very interesting topic that I think you will all find interesting. All right, see you next week. Bye. Remember to stay eco.